I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Dance Influence with Dana Alexa. I'm your host, Dana Alexa. We took a couple weeks off, but I'm so excited to be back in the studio. We are chatting with the biggest influencers in dance every single week, and I have my beautiful co-host, Ms. Danielle Rose.
Hi.
Good to see you today. And our special guest today is one of my favorite people. If you don't know her, Amanda Lacount is taking the world by storm, just 19 years old. She started a movement called Breaking the Stereotype that's all about body positivity, all about people being loved and accepted in every shape and size, and kind of combating that dance industry body standard norm. And she's doing a freaking amazing job of it. Her resume reads like a who's who of Hollywood. Katy Perry, Lady Gaga, Rihanna, Lizzo, I mean, you name it, and she's there. Yeah, I even saw her dancing with Oprah when I went to watch my idol. You know, I love Oprah. I saw her on stage with Oprah, and I had to send her a message and be like, girl, Oprah too? She's everywhere. She's killing it, and she's the sweetest person in the world. So, Amanda, thank you for being here today.
Of course. I'm so happy to be here, and I can't wait to talk a little bit.
I know, we're so excited to pick your brain later. I'm really excited because she's the first guest that we've had that's still she's only 19 years old, still a teen. So I think that this will be a really beneficial show for you guys that are teens and kind of looking to break into the industry and really getting to hear how she's done it because it's so freaking impressive. And obviously she's amassed a very large social media following in the process because, you know, who wouldn't want to watch what she's doing? She's just the best. And I'm sure it's going to continue to skyrocket. So let's get started chatting today. Obviously, we are still all in our own homes. We are social distancing, isolating, quarantining. And it is a different, it's different. The whole climate of everything is different. But we're going to focus mostly on discussing how the climate of the dance industry is different and the response that we've seen in the dance community. So Amanda, how has your quarantine been going? How are you feeling?
There's definitely a variety of emotions. I get very up and down, highs and lows. But in the beginning, I was very stressed out, anxious about everything, which is a very valid feeling. I don't want anyone to feel like they can't feel like that because this is a very unnatural thing to go through. You know, we're social people, so we're meant to interact with people. So to be so just kind of sectioned off and not allowed to interact with people, it's hard. But at the same time, you know, I just try to do things that make me happy every day and try to stay active and just don't let myself get into like a rut of just staying in bed all day. But yeah, and I'm lucky that I get to like have my mom here. I know a lot of people that are alone. So at least I have my mom, but I'm also thousands of miles away from my siblings. So that kind of stinks, but there's always FaceTime or texting even or calling. So I'm making it work.
You getting your mom in those TikToks.
Oh yeah. I'm like, Mom, you have to get some sort of activity going on today.
Oh my gosh. And you said your siblings live far away. Where are your siblings?
They're in a few different states, but a big chunk of them are in Colorado because I have 6 siblings. I have a very big family.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah. But they're all older than me. So I'm the baby. So they're all living their own lives, married, having kids. But they either live in Colorado or like San Francisco area. But I haven't been able to see them in a while, but at least they're staying safe. And I'd rather have them be healthy than having me go see them and then somehow get them sick. That would be the worst. So
absolutely. Right. I think that's what we're all feeling is that as difficult as it is, we're doing an important thing for the people that we love and for people we don't even know. We're just showing love by isolating and doing this difficult thing for the short term because it's harder to lose people or to have them be sick and it's we believe it's better for the long term of everyone. So I definitely think it's good that we're all learning this selflessness and it's important especially to see influential teenagers like you setting that example because you know it's easy for teens to feel like they're invincible and screw the world and then not really listen to these things and it's important to see you set that example, so thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
Are you dancing while you're in quarantine?
Oh yeah. I'm always on Instagram trying to find classes. I'm like, who's teaching? Or just making my own choreography or freestyling or whatever it may be. I try to stay dancing a lot because I'm so used to like dancing hours a day. So I don't want to not dance and then I go back and I'm like, I don't know what kind of dancing I'm doing, but it's not good. So I want to make sure that I try to train, I guess. But it is hard. Obviously, it's not the same as like in person. But we're really lucky, and there's a lot of teachers doing live classes. Dana, Alexa. But I'm really grateful for those teachers, and I think that the whole dance community in general is just so happy that there's so many amazing teachers teaching. I mean, the biggest names are teaching: Paris Goebel, Isabel Caps, like huge teachers. And so I'm really happy that they're just being really selfless during this time. And yeah, I've been trying to do that, and I've taught like one class, but I'm also not like a teacher, but I'm trying to do my part. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that's such a beautiful thing about right now too is that you're not a teacher yet. I'm sure you will be a teacher someday if that's in your, something that you want to accomplish because the amount of talent and the amount of industry work experience you have already at such a young age is so incredible. But I think it's just nice now that yeah, it's not really about for me, I've been teaching beginner classes because I think what should be happening right now is a commitment to movement, a commitment to mood elevation, a commitment to just like giving back any way that you can. If you have a skill and anyone might benefit from it, like jump in there and give it back, like whether you're a teacher or not. And I think that if any dancers feel compelled to do that selflessly and do something free and offer their talent, then the whole dance community should be behind that. There should be nobody right now saying like, "Oh, you're not a teacher. Why are you teaching?" That's like
Mhm.
this is not the time. Like I think it's great that you decided to teach a class, and if you decide to teach more, like do it. It's
Yeah.
just if you get even a few people up dancing instead of just feeling sad in their house, like that's major. We need to keep the energy and the vibration high, and that
Mhm.
dance contributes to that.
Yeah,
Have you
definitely.
been dancing, Danielle, in quarantine? What are you doing over there?
Yeah, I try to keep to a routine of at least getting out of bed, taking a shower, doing some stretching, eating, doing all the good things because this honestly is super hard for me because I'm a big people person. I want to be around people, like I get my energy from people. So it's really hard and like you can only FaceTime your friends for so long. I made a TikTok the other day that was like me FaceTiming all my introverted friends like for the sixth time of the day and it's like it's so true. I feel so bad that I keep bothering people, but I have such great friends and we're taking classes together. Like my friend and I took Dana's class together. Like he was on the screen and we were on our phones and stuff. And so it was really great.
I love that. I love to hear that. I love that you said you're sticking to a routine of getting out of bed and eating.
It's important in this time. Okay.
Yes, it should be a routine. No, and we're joking around and stuff, but I do know a lot of people out there. If you are dealing with things that making quarantine especially hard for you, you're in an abusive household, you have severe anxiety and depression. I know that this is not just this is a difficult time. This could be a dangerous time. This could be a really hyper stressful time. So please know that we do acknowledge and understand and send love to anybody that's in an extremely trying situation. And I do know that there are some resources out there for you at this time. There's a lot of people offering free mental health and consultations and things like that. But I know it's easier said than done. And I don't want you guys to feel like we're making light of it. We know that it is a really serious situation, and that every single person is handling it differently. So, however, this is hitting you, please know that it's okay. And we are supporting you and wherever you're at because it is unprecedented and it is highly stressful. So, we are sending love to you guys wherever you're at and however you're dealing. So we hope you're doing okay, and we hope that you feel inspired to dance with us whenever you can, because it really is. Even if you look silly, now you're only in your own home, so
Yeah.
no one will know. So we're gonna actually start by getting into a little bit of a game. Danielle's gonna take us through a little "Would You Rather" game.
It's a quickie. It's a quick one. It's fun though.
Awesome. I'm ready.
Okay. So, would you rather be in a for 10 years or in prison for 5?
That's super cute,
Oh,
Danielle. Would you rather
I
be
know.
in
She's like,
a
it's
coma
a
or
fun
in
game.
prison?
Spicing it up.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. Honestly, probably jail for 5 years. I don't know if I'd survive, but I don't think I could be, like, mentally sane if I was in a coma. Like, I don't know, not dancing would literally kill me. So I'd rather be in prison and kinda deal with that than I think
Damn,
being
I
in a
would
coma
definitely
for 5
pick
years.
prison. I feel like I would kill it in prison. I mean, maybe I'm just being
Dance battling.
like overconfident, but I feel like first of all, I'd get into great shape. I'd be running. I would run the prison dance team. Like I feel like
Prison dance.
it's
The
crazy.
step team.
You know what I mean? I feel like it would be fine.
I think you would survive. I think you guys could be cellmates and you would
Yeah,
definitely
we
make it
could
out.
start like a dance crew.
Work. I'm in.
Oh man, that's good. Okay, the next one is, would you rather have the ability to time travel or to stop time?
Ooh. Probably stop time. I feel like it'd almost be stressful, like, knowing what's gonna happen in the future.
Mm.
Like, I've heard a few people say, like, "Oh, I wanna know, like, when I'm gonna die and how I'm gonna die." I'm like, "No, you don't. You do not wanna know that, because then you'll just be stressing out about it your whole life, and you'll miss your life." So I'm like, "No." But there's definitely been, like, a few, like, really, like, good times in my life, like, special times with family that I would have loved to, like, make last for just years. So I would say stop time.
I know. I agree. I mean, with time travel, I feel like because there's so many movies that are like, even if you go into the past and you don't go into the future, if you touch like one little thing, you'll like change everything. And I don't know if I'm ready for that
Mhm.
kind of
Yeah.
responsibility.
I know, I would mess everything up.
Everything. Like it would just be a disaster. So you think you would go and do something good, but like you don't know if you would or
Mhm.
not. So I would probably choose stop time too. And I would probably choose it more for my ability to like see that this was like an important moment coming and being able to
Mhm.
pause and like get my composure and like think about exactly how I want to speak, or maybe times I've been in a mood or I've been in an argument to like stop it and be like, okay, get
Mhm.
your shit together because I
Mhm.
am hyper emotional or have been in the past. So a pause button would have come in handy.
Just a pause on life. Yeah.
Little
Um, would you rather wear sweatpants for the rest of your life or never be able to wear them again?
Ooh, um, ugh, I love dressing up, so I would probably say never wear them again because I live in leggings. Like, as long as I have leggings, I'm
comfortable.
fine. So I would definitely say never wear them again because I can live without sweatpants, but I can't live without cute outfits. Right.
I don't know what I would pick, honestly. I can't really decide. Are we calling like a track pant? Does that fall into the sweatpant
I
category?
don't know. I feel like you wear a lot of sweatpants, but you make it look cute.
So you think I should just sweatpants forever?
I think you could do it.
Yeah. With like a heel, I can make it work.
Yeah, you could totally
Granny,
make that work.
pants and heel. What else are you trying to wear?
Okay, would you
Am I
rather
quitting? Sweatpants? Come on.
do it next class? Would you rather have the ability to change your past or change something that'll in the future?
Ooh, oh, that's hard to answer because you don't know what's gonna happen in the future. So I don't really know. So I guess I would say change something in the past. Yeah, I would say change something from the past that wasn't great.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would probably change something in the past too, but I don't know exactly what. So don't
Mhm.
come for me. Ooh, I know what you would. No, you don't know. I don't even know what I would change. I would just do something a little different just to see,
What would
you know.
happen? Yeah.
But then the same thing, we might make it worse.
You'll
So,
never know.
but I would probably pick that one.
Yeah. Okay, and then this is the last one. Would you rather go on tour with a huge artist but never be given credit, like as a dancer,
Oh,
or have your own name as a dancer but never work with your dream artist?
ooh, okay. So, like, I have a question going into the details. So, if I get credit but never work with my dream artist, can I go on tour with artists that aren't my dream?
Yeah, like people will know your name. Like people will know that you were on tour with whatever artist,
Okay,
but it
I'm
wouldn't
gonna
be
say people know my name, and it's just not my dream artist because there's so many amazing artists. If I can't get one, but I get like three that are amazing, then I'm fine with that. I'd rather get that than work with my dream artist and then like not get
right.
recognized. I don't know. I'd rather
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, I think so too. Just because I feel that, especially since I've worked on both sides of that coin, like when I first started coming up in the dance industry and social media wasn't really a thing, I didn't have any notoriety or have a name. And I did some stuff that I didn't ever work with, like my dream. I don't have a dream artist actually, so I guess it would be hard to do that job. But I never do like super major things, but not having a name, I felt like I was way more susceptible to like mistreatment because people just maybe are a little emotional. Artists in general are a little emotional and don't always have their feelings in check when they speak to other people.
Mhm.
So I think that started to make me hate dance because I was like, there's so much nastiness in this way.
Mhm.
But since I've gotten my social media platform, that happens a lot less. And actually what I see is people kind of being about to be nasty to me and then being like, oh, hi. And I'm like,
Yeah.
so I would definitely choose having a name no matter who I was working with because I think it's an important way to like establish yourself to have the respect we all deserve. It's unfortunate that you need a name to have that respect, but
Mhm.
at this phase in the industry, it is still a necessity that have a name in order to be treated respectfully. And so I need that because your girl don't handle it so nice. People are mean to me. So speaking of that, I want to talk a little bit, Amanda, about you don't really have to worry about working with what artists you're going to work with because they're all knocking on your door. Um, but when you first started, and you've started this hashtag, this movement, breaking the stereotype, and I have a feeling that's because people were not accepting or super supportive of you coming up in this industry or wanting to pursue this. So, can
Mhm.
you tell us a little bit about breaking the stereotype and what stereotype you're breaking? Let's start there.
Mhm. Whew, okay. I'll try to shorten this answer, but it always turns like a long thing, but I will do my best. So first going into like how I grew up and the reason why I created Breaking the Stereotype. So there's two stories. I'm going to try to tell them very fast, but they're very important to my hashtag creation. So when I was 11, I'm from Colorado. That's where I'm from. And I only moved to LA when I was 13, almost 14. But I was 11 and I went to this certain studio. And at the end of the year, I was on the competitive dance team. He had a meeting with my mom and I and said, "Hey, I'm sorry, but Amanda's body type doesn't fit my vision I have for my team." So pretty much he just wanted like a group of like 30 really tall, skinny girls to like look all the same and be boring. And I didn't fit that. So he kicked me out and my mom was like furious. Of course, if you know my mom, she does not take that very well. Um, and that was a really hard time. I got very down on myself. I was pretty upset. I did not see it coming at all. He treated me really great that whole year, and I was featured in numbers, whatever, blah, 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 doesn't matter. Um, but it was really hard. But my mom, being the momager she is, she didn't really let me get down on myself. Like, it was a day after, and she was like, "Okay, Amanda, you need to stop being sad. Like, this happened, and we can't really do anything. Like, he said it, he did it, whatever. We can't change it. So you might as well just get right back into dance. We'll go to a different studio, keep training, and you'll prove him wrong one day." Things like that. So then we moved to a different studio, whatever. And then when I moved to LA, this is my first LA story. I went to my first red carpet ever in my life, and I was so excited. Like, you can ask my mom, I was jumping up and down. I was so excited. And I went to this red carpet, and
How old
Richard
were you at that
Simmons.
time?
I was 14.
Okay. So you're
Yeah.
you're
So
like a young teen and this man
mhm.
said this to you and now you're in another young teens having this super exciting moment and what happens?
Yeah, so, Richard Simmons was there, and obviously I was only 14, so it's not like I was a fan of his workout videos, like, I didn't really know who he was, but my mom was like, "Oh, hey, that's Richard Simmons, that's cool." And so my friend and I that I was with asked for a picture, and he takes the picture, and in front of maybe, like, 100, 150 people, pretty loudly, like, he didn't even try to whisper, he was like, "If you wanna be successful in this industry, you're gonna have to lose 15 to 20 pounds," in front of everyone, and I like started bawling my eyes out and I like ran away. I was so embarrassed. But that's not the best part. My mom, of course, my mom comes in and she says, "Hey, like you have no idea what she does. She's a dancer. She dances every day. She is perfectly fine. She's healthy. Like you don't know her. You shouldn't be saying this, blah, 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 things like that." And he says to my mom, "Well, you need to set an example." I I like my jaw was on the floor. And then my mom goes, this is my favorite part. She goes, okay, well, when you've had 7 kids, you can come talk to me.
Yes, John, I heard it.
Yeah, my mom does not care who you are. Like, she really does not. If Beyonce was mean to me, she would be like, who do you think you are? Like, this is my daughter.
Amazing.
So
Honestly,
yeah.
I love that because honestly, it's so difficult for. I think what happens is as people get bigger and get a status attached to their name or a celebrity attached to their name, they start to feel like they are above any kind of regulation. Like they just say whatever they want or speak their opinion like it's fact, and can become hyper judgmental, not being aware of how that might really deeply affect somebody. I mean, a lot of people in your case would have just quit right then and there and just been like, I'm not gonna live with this ugliness or not be accepted in this way. And it's so important that you had your mom to be such a great mom and like to fight that battle for you and tell you like, no, we're not gonna let anyone's opinion stop us from doing what you're like born to do. So that's pretty badass, mom. Props.
Yeah, I was very lucky to have her. And even in the car after that whole situation, I was like, Mom, we're going back to Colorado. Like, we're going back. I'm done. And she was like, no, you're not. Like, she refused. But now obviously I'm very grateful that she didn't really let me give up. And sometimes when I tell that story, I feel like it comes off as like she made me, but it's not like she was like, you were dancing right now, you are going to dance, I'm making you. It was more just she knew that I wanted to do it and I was just wanting to leave because I was embarrassed or feeling a certain way, but she knew it was still what I was passionate about. So she was like,
she
no.
believed in you. She believed in you to keep going. She knew you had talent and all of what it takes to become who you are right now. So she knew it before you did, which is great.
Yeah, she's great. And then how I got into breaking the stereotype.
Yeah.
So I went through a ton of other similar situations like that growing up. And I just never, it was weird because in some ways it was like I never really cared what people said, but obviously you care.
Yeah.
Like I don't care how big you are, how successful. When someone says something like that to you, you're not just going to be fine. Like you're not gonna be like, okay, whatever. And so I would get in my feelings a little bit, but then I'd be like, okay, you know what? Whatever. Like, I love dance. It's what I'm passionate about. I'm going to do it anyway, and I don't care what anyone says. And then I moved out here to LA, and that whole situation happened, and I kept dancing and taking class or whatever. I got my agent about like 2 months when I moved to LA, and I just could tell, like, when you walk into a room and people like look at you a certain way, you can tell, even if they don't say anything, you just know. And whenever I would walk into a class, I just feel like people were looking at me a certain way or maybe saying a snarky comment behind my back in a certain way. I never got along with any of the other team dancers ever. I don't do the clicky no. So I just knew that people weren't very fond of me and didn't approve of my dance career. And so 2016, I believe, the summer of 2016, I was driving in the car and I was scrolling through Instagram like one does. And I saw one of my friends had created her own hashtag. And I was like, interesting. I want to have that. And so I wanted to come up with something that wasn't just like, that didn't mean anything. I wanted it to have a meaning and a reason why it's my hashtag. And so I pretty much wanted to sum up what I want my dance career to be all about and what I'm about as a person in general. And so I came up with breaking the stereotype because, you know, people always tell me that I don't have the right body type for dance or, you know, I don't look like a dancer. And I'm like, what does that mean? What does that mean? And so since people are always telling me I don't fit the stereotype, I want to show everyone that you can break the stereotype and be just as successful as someone who looks like a dancer. Again, whatever that means.
Successful. If you actually want to talk about it, what you've actually done is you have the most successful teens that I know. I don't know many other people that can rival your experience and resume. So not only did you make it work just as well, you actually did it better.
Yeah. So thank you. But I created it to, one, just kind of summarize what I want to do with my career, but two, inspire other people from all around the world, not even in dance, just in life. If they feel like they're not meant to do something, I want them to feel like, you know, if they're passionate about it and they love it, to not care what people say, just to do it. Because at the end of the day, if you don't do it, you're going to regret it later. and you're going to be like, why did I let those people decide what I was going to do with my life? You know what I mean? So I wanted to show people and inspire people that even though it's been hard for me, and obviously I still have people that aren't a fan of mine, that it's paid off in the end, and I'm doing things that I dreamed of doing when I was younger, and I get the opportunity to inspire people from all over the world. So it's been amazing. So I just wanted to inspire people. Pretty much, it's the story.
I love that when it came time for you to create this hashtag for yourself to put on your own Instagram, that you thought bigger than just you. You thought about how this could affect not only even your community globally, but like could affect people in general. You really, and I've heard so much from successful people that one of the things do is they think bigger than themselves, and they think about how their impact can be positive on a large scale. And I think that exactly, embodies it in your specific situation. You're talking about the stereotype of a traditional dancer's body or a dancer's look, that you're breaking, and that you're saying, it's actually not necessary for us all to look that way or for us to look all the same. And not only is it not necessary, it's better if we are different and we embrace those differences, because we make everything more inclusive, and we find a way to, like, at the end of the day, the point of dance is that we're supposed to entertain people. And I think what people miss about that is that people have a hard time being entertained or enjoying you if you are somehow simultaneously making them feel bad about themselves. So if we put on a show and there's people in the audience that have a standard body type or a little curvy or whatever it is, or they're a different race, a different anything, and they're not represented in that show or in the media, then they just end up feeling like they can't really enjoy it. You can't relate. You cannot.
Yeah.
It's not inclusive. It's just not. It's
Mhm.
not that way. So I think that this is such an important thing, and it's such a cool thing that you've done it in the dance world for sure. We're going to talk about some of the things you've booked, and how that's beginning to change based on this work that you put in. But also, I think across the board. Just the other day, Danny got a gift card to Victoria's Secret, and she pulled up the website and she started scrolling through it, and I was like, stop. And I saw like so many different body types, and I was like, can you believe it? Like in Victoria's Secret, to see like curvy or just normal, not even curvy, and just normal weighted, normal looking people. Like, I was like, I can't believe it. People with freckles, people with different skin colors, everything, different hair. I was like, when I was growing up, we saw one Victoria's Secret model. She looked exactly the same as all the other ones. Was 100 pounds, soaking wet. That's all we saw. Like, that's it. There was no one else. So I think it's so cool to start to see that shift, because I think it's so important for everybody's like mental health and ability to love themselves, and to really be a performer. You have to have that ownership of self first. So I definitely applaud you for what you're doing. It's cool. Danielle, just going into this, I know that you have caught some negative feedback about your look, because you're not a standard dance body type, as people love to say. So how do you identify with Amanda's message, and how do you feel like it maybe impacts you to push a little bit harder?
Well, it's very hard because I think that even in the beginning of my dance career, like I was told that I basically was just average, um, and that I needed to decide what I wanted to be or who I needed to look like. I needed to either be super, super gorgeous with extensions and eyelashes and all of this crazy stuff, or I needed to be like, someone who has red hair or a bald head or something. And I was told that I was just kind of in the middle, whatever that means. And it's frustrating, I think, for me, because I'm so happy for Amanda because she is pushing through that, but it is tough for me because I don't really know where I fall. And it's like, I love who I am and I love my body, but I don't know if, the dance world is ready for people of just every shape and size to be on the platforms of tours and music videos and all of that. So it's definitely challenging. So I admire and I look up to you, Amanda, because it's something that I know a lot of me and my friends, because I have a lot of friends that are the same size. It's like, it's so weird because why does that matter? Why does it matter what
Mhm.
size you are? I love to dance. I'm a good dancer. I want to book and I want to be professional levels. And like, it's crazy that you have to push past your body to do something that you love to do. So
Mhm.
it's frustrating, but it's very inspiring.
Oh, thank you.
Um, that being said, I want to just touch on how, Amanda, you're talking about you had a lot of these experiences really young in your life. So you've pretty much grown up in the dance industry, in the entertainment industry. So I'm kind of wondering if you can shed a little light maybe for any teens out there or kids out there that are watching now or maybe watching with their parents about maybe some advice that you would give them on how to prepare themselves to
Mm.
be in this kind of an industry at such a young age.
Yeah, it's the industry is such a weird thing. Um, it's hard to explain, but for advice, I would just say, when I moved to LA, it's very easy to compare yourself to other people around you, or when you go to an audition, you're like, oh, look at what she's wearing. Should I have worn that? Like, am I standing out enough? Did I wear the right outfit? It's like, oh my gosh, it's so stressful. And I feel like just people get so hard down on themselves because they don't look like other people, including me. I still do that sometimes. So I would say if you do want to move to LA and get in the professional industry, I would say that you need to have a very thick skin before you even think about coming here, because you're not going to come here and just be an overnight success. Like, that doesn't happen. You have to put in a lot of work, a lot of hours into your art form, whatever it may be. And you have to be ready to get told that pretty much you suck and that there's people that are so much better than you. That's what you need to prepare yourself for. And
Now,
if you're
we're
prepared for
working on
that,
changing that industry. We're working on changing the way that you guys are being
yeah,
perceived. Trust me, we out here, we try to
yeah,
we try to make it friendly and inclusive for everybody,
mhm,
but unfortunately, that is the truth. Like I said, right now, it can still be a nasty place, unfortunately, very judgmental place.
mhm,
So yeah. So how do you have a suggestion maybe? How did you build thick skin? Like obviously you had your mom in your ear who
mhm,
definitely was a big help for you. But what
mhm,
about maybe some parents or kids who are like new and don't even know where to start to make themselves ready to
mhm.
hear something like that about themselves?
Yeah. First, I will say I think it's not mandatory. Obviously, I'm not going to say what you have to do with your life, but I think it's very helpful when you have a support system, whether that be family or just friends, anything, just someone that can back you up and to tell you you're amazing. Like, don't listen to them, whatever, things like that. That will help tremendously, because I don't think I would have gotten to the place I am today if I didn't have my mom like telling me you're amazing every day. So I would definitely say that helps, but I know that a lot of people aren't that lucky and they might not have a supportive family or supportive friends. And I would just say at the end of the day, remember why you're doing what you're doing. It's not to please other people. You didn't start dancing because you wanted to, like, I mean, most of the time you didn't start dancing because you wanted to get a check or you wanted to book a lot of jobs. You danced because it made you happy. And so just remember why you're dancing. It's really easy um to forget why you're dancing and to think, oh, like they didn't like my performance. That sucks. And like all you do is think about how people don't like you. When the reality is, like, you shouldn't really care at the end of the day what people think about you, because you're doing it because it makes you happy. And if you're happy doing it, then who cares?
Definitely. I definitely think it's important that you got that if you're considering getting into this at any age, not just even as a teenager, that your reasons are pure. It has to really be
Hmm.
something you love. If you think it's just something that's going to bring you attention or fame or money and you chase it for those reasons, you're going to have a really hard time because you're not going to know where to draw the lines. Your integrity will be called into question and you'll probably catch a lot of crap that you did not sign up for. So, you know,
Hmm.
the best way to enter this industry is because it's a genuine act of love, something that you just can't live without. And be strong. I would say as well, don't be afraid to reach out. If you get some kind of something feedback or something that's hateful and you just don't know what to do with it, and you do have a teacher, a friend, a mentor, a therapist, anybody that you can go and talk those things through with, I think that's for the best, because we get into the habit of burying that stuff and then eventually we end up quitting or hating the very thing that brought us here in the first place. So be ready to talk, be ready to face difficult things head on, and yeah, hopefully have some kind of support system somewhere. Um, so you catch all this negative stuff really right the second you step foot in LA. Your first interaction is kind of negative, people telling you you don't look the part. But eventually you book a job. So what is the first job that you booked and how did that happen?
Okay, the first of like official actual LA job that I booked was a JC Penney commercial. And I was so excited when I got the call. I was like, "Oh my gosh, my first commercial." And my first job. So I was very excited and it was a really funny story because I actually didn't even audition for it. I think I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure one of the dancers that they booked from the audition couldn't do it. And I didn't go to the audition. I don't know if I didn't fit the criteria or something. I didn't go. And so I don't really know how they found me, but I think someone said that I went to a different audition and the same people were casting that and they remembered me from that. And we're like, oh, she could work. And so I ended up going the rehearsal day and it was, I mean, pretty much it was all of like the biggest LA dancers. It was Jordan Jones, Taylor Hatala, Charlize, a lot of big people, and I was super, super excited to be there. I felt like a real like teenage LA dancer. And it was amazing. It was such a fun experience. And also a fun little coincidence is that the commercial was to one of my favorite artist songs, Meghan Trainor. She is like when I first moved here, it was my dream to work with her. She was my favorite artist. I loved everything about her, and then later down the line, I got to work with her. But it was a funny coincidence that that just happened to be my first job. But yeah, I still remember that job very vividly, and it was a lot of fun.
So I don't believe in coincidences. I think everything happens for a reason. Obviously, that's too many weird things for it to be a coincidence. I think everything finally aligned, and that's really where you needed to be. That's where you deserve to be, that room. And it did connect you to Meghan Trainor. So you said you did get to work with her down the line. So
Mhm.
tell us about that. How did that happen?
Yeah, okay. So that story, so about a year and a half or 2 years before I worked with her, and the job I did was the Radio Disney Music Awards in 2018. But 2 years before that, I took a Brooklyn J class, very full out, very jazz funk. And it
Love.
was to Meghan Trainor. We love Brooklyn. We stand Brooklyn. But it was to Meghan Trainor's song "Me Too," and I posted it, and I wouldn't say it went like viral, but it got like 100,000 views or something. And at this point, I only had like 5,000 followers. And I was like, what is happening? And then I was going through the likes, and I see Meghan Trainor liked it, and I was like freaking out. I screenshotted it everywhere. I was like, guys, look. I was sending it to my friends, and I was so excited. And then she started following me like a month after that, and again, I died. I was freaking out.
Okay.
And then nothing really came from it for like a year and a half or so, but I still was freaking out that she even knew who I was. Um, and then her music video for No Excuses, or no, what is that? What is called? What is it called? Oh my gosh. Okay, one of her newer songs. This is really sad that I can't remember, but I think it might be No Excuses.
When you put
Anyway,
somebody on the spot, we forget everything. So
yeah, I'm like, I'm sorry. I promise I love her. But one of her newer songs that came out like a year and a half ago ish. It was very popular, very big song. And I got asked to do her music video for it. There was no audition. I just got contacted by like her people or whatever. But at that time, I believe I was going to be in London for this dance convention that I was teaching at. And I was like, oh my God, I already committed to this London trip. And also, I was just very excited to go to London. That's a very big deal. And I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I can't really do anything. I have to go to this London thing. I made a commitment. And I don't want to like let people down. But I was broken inside. I was like, oh my gosh, she's my dream artist. Like, oh, I'm never gonna get to work with her. I was so sad. But then, like 3 months later, I get contacted again, and they're like, "Oh, we know that you couldn't be in the music video, but she's performing at the Radio Disney Music Awards, and we are wondering, like, if you want to perform." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, yes, yes!" I was like, "Everything's working out. It was meant to be. Like, this is what was supposed to happen." So then, I go to rehearsal, and Charm LaDonna, her choreographer, is amazing. And then a week later, I performed with her, and it was everything. And a funny story, when I met her, she came into rehearsal, I think the second day, and she was giving hugs to everyone or whatever, and I was kind of like behind everyone. And she looks at me and she goes, "Oh my gosh, you're Amanda." And I was like, "Ah!" I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's who I am." And she was like, "Oh, I'm so happy they got you." Like, "Yes, I'm so happy, I'm so happy." And I was just, she literally was like, "You're a legend." And I was like, "I'm a legend." I was like, Okay,
We
sure.
are, actually, and I'm
Um,
not. But the thing is that I think I'm seeing that I think is so cool is that your hashtag that's caught on. Both of these jobs through JCPenney, through Meghan Trainor, and I'm sure a lot of the other jobs that you've done have been people finding you and kind of relating to the content you're posting online. So do you feel that social media in that way has allowed you to have a platform that maybe opens you up for a lot of scrutiny, but also
mhm.
connects you to the people who are on the same wavelength as you? Um,
Yeah, definitely. I think without my social media, I wouldn't have done half the jobs I've done. Even though like social media can get out of hand sometimes, and I feel like sometimes people can rely on it too much, and they think, "Oh, I have 100,000 followers. I'm the best dancer in LA." It's like, okay, no, you're not.
well, people who
I
let
know.
things go to their head are gonna do that regardless,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I know plenty of dancers that no one knows that are
Phenomenal.
crazy talented. So followers at the end of the day really does not equal talent, and I think that's a message that needs to be spread more.
Yes.
But with that being said, I'm very grateful for the following I have, and it has helped me a lot. I mean, even the Rihanna Savage Fenty show, I don't think I would have gotten without my social media because she's been following me for about a year and a half now, and that was before the Savage Fenty show, and then Paris invited me to her closed audition for it and said, "Oh, like we really want to see you." And so, even though she didn't say it directly, I had a feeling that Rihanna and her people probably knew of me and they wanted me to come in and audition. So everything is kind of connected somehow to my social media. But
I
again, social
definitely
media is not
agree.
everything.
I definitely agree that social media platforms, they don't, especially if they're purchased. If they're purchased, then we're not talking about you at all. But if you actually built a social media platform, I think the thing about it that needs to be understood is that it doesn't always necessarily equal talent. It doesn't always necessarily
Mhm.
equal anything. It doesn't even equal that the person is nice, but it does equal something. It equals that the person is doing something that is relatable or that is watchable or that is, valid somehow. So I think that that's the cool thing about social media is that this is a very wide world with very different views, perspectives, opinions, and dance is subjective. So if you build a following on these platforms, it means that somebody's watching you for some reason. And
Mhm.
if you bought them, then RIP. That doesn't mean anything. But if you built it, then kudos because it's not easy to build and there's a reason people are watching you clearly. So you touched quickly, last thing I want to talk about with you is you touched quickly on Savage X Fenty, which is Rihanna's fashion show. And I know you've done fashion campaigns now for Forever 21 in conjunction with Barbie. I know you've done Nike. And these are things that have been traditionally accepted for a standard model body type. Even when I was first coming in the industry, they were like, you can't model for anything. You're 5'4". Like, get out of our sight. Like, and I must have weighed like 100 pounds when I was like, 15 years old. And even then, they were like, nope, you're not right. Because
Mhm.
the standard and the stereotype is so strict. So you literally just were like, screw that. I'm going to do all these huge things that have not been done before. So tell us about that experience for you becoming a face for brands like this. And is that surreal for you or what's going through your mind?
Um, yeah, I don't know what's going through my head, but it's very surreal. I mean, similar to a lot of, I'm sure almost like every person growing up, you dream of modeling or being the face of something or being popular and people knowing your name. That's a very common thing for people growing up. And obviously, I dreamt of that. And I always thought, oh, I'm going to be a huge star mom, like, watch out. Um, and when I get contacted by these brands and they're saying, we love what you do and we want you to be like the face of this campaign or we want you to be a part of our shoot or whatever, it's very exciting and it's crazy because I never thought I would ever get to model anything. I mean, I did American Eagle like a year ago, and I literally my face, me doing a split in jeans was all over the world. I got pictures of it in Dubai, in Italy,
I sent you a
here.
picture of it from Asia, I think. I was in Asia.
Uh-huh. And it's just crazy because on one hand, I never thought I would be here, but then like on the other hand, part of me is like, no, you knew. Like you
Yeah,
knew.
like you could
Um
absolutely feel it. You wouldn't have pursued this the way that you did and paved this road that you did unless, I always say that if you can tune in, if you're being called to something, you're going to hear it, even if it seems unrealistic, even if at the time everybody's telling you your body is wrong for this, your look is wrong. still there was something inside of you that was saying,
Mhm.
no, honey, like they don't see it, but it's yours. Like it has to be, because
Mhm.
otherwise you wouldn't have pursued it the way that you did. So
Yeah.
I think that it's everything that you've done and built is just so impressive. And as somebody that knows you personally, I always speak also on your personality, because I know, like you've said, a lot of people have given you a lot of hate or judged a book by its cover. And really that's their loss, because to me as a student, you have always been the brightest light in my classroom. You're smiling, you're having a good time, you're supporting other people, you're a fantastic dancer and performer. You work your butt off. There's no like teen being a chit chat or being rude. You're
Mhm.
just focused and you're training, and you're doing this for all the right reasons. You've been loyal. You've shown nothing but love to me. So I think that every good thing that you've manifested, you absolutely have deserved and built, and the sky is the limit for you. Honestly, it's so cool to see all these things. I can't even keep up with you. Honestly, every time I check your page, I'm like, what? I go to congratulate you for one thing, and it's like, Dan, you already did something else. Like I didn't even get to say congratulations. So, um,
Oh.
guys, if you're not following Amanda, get on it right this second, because you're gonna be blown away by everything that she does and the way that she carries herself, and you'll be inspired to literally tell everyone to put their opinions up their butt and to just life. And that's what it should be. That's what this should be, right?
Mhm.
So,
Yep.
Amanda, tell them where they can find you.
Whew, okay, social media. There's so many social medias these days. Instagram is just my name, Amanda Lacount. I have 2 YouTubes. I have Amanda Lacount Dance and then just Amanda Lacount. One of them is more like fun, silly YouTube videos, and the other one is dance videos. And then this new thing, TikTok, that's just blowing up. Amanda underscore Lacount, got a little fancy there. And then I also have a website, just amandalacount.com, and that's where I'll leave it. But if you want to know anything about me, go to the website and it's all there.
Get on it, guys. Danielle, where can they follow you, babe?
Instagram, Danielle Rose 143.
And don't forget to follow me on Instagram and on TikTok at Dana Alexa _. I also have a YouTube, Dana Alexa Dance. You can catch me there. And also, if you guys enjoyed this show, please make sure to leave us a comment down below, like and subscribe. We'd love to hear from you. And we are so thrilled that you were able to join us today. We will be back very soon with a new episode of The Dance Influence every Wednesday at 2 o'clock right here on AfterBuzz TV. Love you guys. Thank you, Amanda.
Of course.
All love.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.